What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up? It's another episode of Big Mike and Little Ant. This time, a spoiler discussion for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What's going on, Ant?
I am good, man. I'm excited to talk to you about this. If you guys didn't see already, which most of you probably did, and that's why you're here, but the spoiler discussion, or outside of the theater review, and the link for the spoiler discussion was in there, and I popped it up on the screen. But I'm excited to talk to you, man, because we seen it on Friday. Today is Sunday, and it's time to talk. We had a lot of good talks outside of the theater, but it's time to do it with some of our buddies.
Yes, it is. And without further ado, let's start and bring on our first guest. We love talking about it, and we love talking about it with our buddies too, because definitely gives us more insight. And we're happy to have you, whoever's watching it as well. So we got my guy. He's on the show with us every other week for other reviews. Happy he saw Shang-Chi as well. One of my closest friends, knows all about Marvel. Always watch it. My man E Money.
Here you go. Looking good, E.
Looking good. See, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah. And the guy, the comic connoisseur, the man who watches every movie with a pencil and pen, my guy, Dave.
Yo, what's good, peoples?
What's up, man?
What's up, Dave?
Chilling, man.
All right, man. Let's run through this review, man. So listen, guys. Shang-Chi, man, the Legend of the Ten Rings, man. I personally have already seen the movie twice, Thursday and Friday. Of course, it's the theaters only, so no option for Disney Plus. Let me talk about that first, man. How'd you guys feel, E and Dave, being back in the theaters to watch this movie, stuff like that?
It was all right.
It didn't bother me too much. When I went, the theater was actually kind of empty.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. So I was like, well, I had my own little seat. I only went by myself. So I had my own little seat. And then I socially distanced one seat. And then it was two people. And just whatever. You know, I wore my mask all the way to my seat like a freaking idiot. And sat there without it the whole time. But, yo, it didn't bother me. Like, once the movie started, once that Marvel logo hits, everything just closes out, bro.
Now we're big movie
There's no virus for 2 hours.
So did the experience of being back, like, did it feel different than watching like Black Widow at home?
Oh yeah.
It was.
You can tell the difference. Yeah. All right. So Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. Before we get into the movie, let's start always. What was your thoughts of the trailers and the anticipation for this movie before it came out? Go ahead, E. How about you?
Thoughts was this is going to be Marvel's first kung fu flick. So my thought, I was, you know what? It gave me expectations over than what I thought it would be, because I was feeling like might be Black Widow-ish, but it wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't Black Widow.
All right, Dave. Just your thoughts of the trailers and before the movie came out. What you anticipation?
Definitely knew it was going to be a step above Black Widow, just because you actually saw a lot of the special effects that they were going to be doing in the movie, in the trailers. The bus trailer in particular, like, really got me going for that. When they had the one where he was just on the bus, and you know. But yeah, man, I expected a lot from this movie, and I was not disappointed.
All right, I want to get into my guy Ant.
Yeah. So the cool thing was, Mike, you and I talked about this. I said the trailers of G.I. Joe, before I seen it, looked like the action was going to be better than Shang-Chi. I was like, man, Snake Eyes look like he's going in. And when I watch the Shang-Chi trailers, they look decent. But then going to see G.I. Joe, I was like, oh, wow, it was just a lot of camera effects. Like, they cut off so much action. So I was really anticipating seeing this, because I'm like, well, G.I. Joe let me down as far as action. And like E said, it looked like this was going to be like a Marvel martial arts movie, right? Kung Flu Fit. So I was really anticipating seeing it just for that. I didn't know the character at all, so I didn't really connect with him, connect with the trailers to see him. So I just wanted to see it just for the action, to see if it could live up to what I thought it may be.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know the character at all. Too much, I would say. And the trailers first, like when it first announced, I'll say I wasn't excited at all. I'm like, who the hell is this guy, or whatever.
Right.
But then the trailers did get me a little more excited because of the kung fu aspect, I would say. moments in the movie. But Dave, you knew the character, right? I assume.
Yeah, I knew the character. I never actually bought or read Shang-Chi comics. I only knew of him when he interacted with the Avengers, when you would see like little snippets of him training Captain America, training Wolverine, how to fight. Yeah, those are like I stuck more to the mainstream comics. So Shang-Chi was always like he was always dipping his head in and out, but not as much as like an Iron Man guy. So I knew him pretty well. Plus, like I said, I study almost everything comic. So if Kevin Feige says we got something coming out, if I don't know a lot about it, I'm going to go and learn a lot about it before that time comes. But yeah, I knew enough about him where I didn't have to do any deep research. So I kind of expected it. I see what he was saying about the Black Widow fear because he doesn't really possess superpowers in the comics. He focuses chi and he's using kung fu. So I see what he said, but they turned it up with the special effects. Yeah.
Did anybody get a Black Panther feel?
Yeah, I did, but not
not really.
Way. Well, I'll get into that later. But I see where you're coming from, E. A little bit, definitely.
But definitely got to touch on that. I want to see.
Yeah. I know where you're coming from, but I get into that later. But anyway, so all right, so to the movie now. We had anticipations for the movie, saw the trailers, the movie came out, and we've all seen it. So now, like just watching the movie itself, let's go from the very beginning. Like, I guess the beginning they talk about the father and his backstory and him getting the rings and meeting the mother. So what do you think of that whole part? And then their first little, I guess, dance or fight between the mother and the father. Dave, what do you think about that, bro?
It was awesome, yeah. A great way to start the whole flick, telling the history of it. They still didn't say where he got them from, which I would have liked to see him. I would have liked to see him find them somewhere.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's whatever. It was the smallest detail in the world. You know what? It felt like them cutting that out, the movie got right into the action. Right. Because right from the rip, he on that horse. He about to go do damage. But yeah, I like the way they started that off. The fight between him and the mother was epic. I mean, one of the better fight scenes. I always say that the best Marvel fight scene that I've ever seen is Daredevil versus Nobu in the Daredevil series. This topped it by far. Topped it. It had that special effects feel to it that somewhat had powers, but she kind of schooled him. And it let him know that she was powerful as well. So it kind of gives Shang-Chi that mix.
Yeah, I love the part where he pulled the rings out. She said, "Oh, that's it." I love that part.
Yeah, yo.
I love that part. E, what do you think about the first part, telling Wenwoo, the father, his story and meeting the mother, and then him with the rings in the beginning? So.
I enjoyed it. I got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon from that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, the way he used those rings was different. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to come off, swirl around, like like a
block
spring.
Arrows. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting all that. So I thought that was pretty good. But her fluent moves, was she an earthbender? See, I was getting earthbender, air, something. She was doing something.
She was like, what do you think about that whole part, Ant, bro?
All right. Since E kind of mentioned he didn't expect, I'm gonna say this. I went back. I dozed off a little bit at the end of the movie, and so I went back to watch it yesterday. And because I gotta be like fully, I gotta make sure I'd seen it full through, right? I'm just gonna say this now, all right? In the history of the Marvel movies, this is the most impressive cinematic superpowers I've ever seen. Reason being, kind of going into what he said. So the dude pretty much seemed like he could fly, but jump super far, right? He could block bullets, block arrows, but it's all because the rings are coming off and coming back.
Yeah.
Like, to see him lift off.
Yeah.
And the arrow, like, because you're watching it, and then you realize, like, oh, wait, the rings are pushing him.
Yes.
The rings are coming back. I'm not going to go too deep, but when it looked like him swinging like Spider-Man, and realize the rings is pretty much like grabbing the air, and he could swing. And every time they make sure the movie show they come back.
Yeah.
Like watching it again yesterday, like everything he did, like when he's blocking, swinging, that he is shooting like a gun, like a bullet, and it's coming back. And visually, it shows each individual. It's no cheesy like when on Snake Eyes, 30 guys ran in. He showed him beat up 5 guys, and then all the other 25 guys are laying on the ground. No, you watching the ring individually come off, come back, come. I'm like, when I seen it again, I was like, dude, because I didn't really grab it the way I grabbed it again. Like each individual ring is
even that first scene when he's like blocking the arrows and then he jumps off the horse and then he's like swinging them and knocking people over. It's crazy.
Right, because each individual ring is doing something as a superpower, as if somebody could like shoot blasts out their hands. The ring pretty much was the blast. If somebody could shoot a gun, the rings are the bullets because they go out and come back. But yeah, to the point of the first, fight scene with ultimately his wife. Oh man, like the fact that he was so powerful and you're looking like, all right, he's about to destroy this lady. And like you said, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's all I could think of.
That's it.
Yeah, the way she was dipping them. Well, since you went into that, and that's a good. Let me go back around with that. What did you feel about the rings, Dave, and the way they changed the rings from the comics to this movie?
I didn't mind it too much, you know, man. The Ant knows me as well too. I hate when they go too far off source material. Me, right?
But how was it in the comic books? I have no clue.
It was 10. These rings powered a spaceship.
Oh.
And the Mandarin found the rings. Each ring controlled a different element. One could control ice, fire, space, teleportation, speed, wind. So he would just use them in different combinations.
Yeah, they did that
or use them all together sometimes.
Yeah. Or use them all together sometimes. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want it to feel like Thanos. Maybe they.
That's what they did it.
That's what made him. That's what made him such an unpredictable villain, though, against Iron Man, who was like at the time, oh, I can predict everybody's things, is because you never knew how he was going to use the rings in his next team, and that's how it worked. So to have all of them, they didn't have any individual powers or anything. To have all of them there, it wasn't really a big deal because he was doing cool shit with them. That's what it was. The director said Tony Leung had a lot of say in what this guy should be doing with the rings. Like the scene when later in the movie when he punches and has all the rings go to one arm. That was Tony Leung. That was Tony Leung's idea to do that. Because he said, I can imagine if I'm thinking of it like a slinky, they all come together on one arm, and it gives them double the power.
Visually, it was stunning. My guy Chris Keckett said top 5 Marvel films easy. We'll get into that. And then he said this was the movie for those of us with iron fists, PTSD.
I agree with that part.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. I didn't hate Iron Fist. I just it was the worst. It was the worst one. Bro. It was the worst show, but I still liked it. I would still watch it. It was still the worst show. Man.
No.
Yeah.
First of all, when they made Danny a just straight white dude, it was just horrible. Like it didn't really work.
Danny Rand is a straight white dude though.
Yeah,
comics.
It just
and he is rich in this, but he had his company take it from him. But you know,
anyway, that's I don't want to rabbit hole. But listen, back to the ring.
Yeah, and Dave got to go, so let's try to because I want Dave to be on the whole show. So let's try to. You know.
I told you I'm gonna push for it. Yeah. I locked the door.
I like to say one part you didn't say. I like when he throws the rings, but he brings them back.
Oh,
like on command.
Yeah. And the sound, bro, like it's
that's so dope. And even the last part when he put him in the ground and then brought him up, I thought that was freaking dope as hell. So there's all right. I'm with you, Ant. So many different things. So anyway, after the first scene, bro, and let me just say, I loved all that. E touched on it too. The way she was controlling the wind and the elements and stuff like that. I love that they have 2 different fighting styles, and their son has both of them, which makes it even more powerful on top of the rings or whatever like that. It's crazy. So But then we do meet, we see him as an adult and stuff like that. Him, you know, we start seeing a little more exposition, him with his job, him with his friend, Katie, and they go to her house for breakfast and go out to eat, stuff like that. And we kind of get to know him as a person, his charm, his character, the kind of some of the comedy within the movie. I'm gonna start right there before we get to their bus ride. So what'd you think of that, introducing the family and friends and the characters in the movie and stuff? What do you thought about that part?
I liked it. You know, it even had like street element to it, like how we would be when we used to grow up together.
Yeah,
like, I like that. I love that part. I even what's her name? Aquafina.
Yeah, Aquafina,
I liked her.
Yeah,
I liked her. At first, I thought she was gonna rub me off wrong, but she did pretty good. She did pretty good. I respect that. The grandma, loved her. Loved her. Don't sit there. That's her. What she said? What she said? Like when we supposed to go on a date or something? And he's like, "You're married." Yeah.
And what about him? Like just his personality before we get to him as a fighter.
He had a good personality. I like the fact that he woke up, started doing the workout. You know what I mean? They threw that in there real fast, started doing a little workout, came back out. That part was being the you know, going to work. That part of going to work. You know, your dad, that guy, you sitting up here doing that.
All right, Dave, what'd you think, bro?
It was classic Marvel introduction. Gave it a little comedy feel with the whole letting him get dressed up like it's gonna be him stepping out the whip, and you know, that's classic run of the mill Marvel right there. But I thought it was good. Again, it wasn't a lot of exposition. I didn't need to know a lot because they were gonna flesh his story out throughout the movie. So I don't need to know his whole little backstory to lead up to where he is now. This was perfect. The bar scene leading into the karaoke scene, that was classic.
How'd you like the Katie Aquafina's character?
Oh, you know what? Same as E. I thought she was gonna rub me the wrong way, but she didn't. She wasn't her overly annoying self. Put it like that.
Right.
You know, it was a little bit more subdued, and it seems I don't know. Like it seems like that. Like she took this seriously. This is the best way I can put it. She took this role very seriously. Yeah. So she got it off. So hats off to her and Simu.
All right, little Ant, what you think, buddy?
I don't know who Aquafina is, but
she's the best friend. She's Katie or whatever.
No, I know, but I don't know who.
You know her. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, is she like I thought maybe she was a comedian or something because she was so funny, man. She nailed her role. And I like the fact that they gave him a best friend. Like she was a perfect, like, you know, when you think of Spider-Man and his best friend was the Asian dude, right?
Yeah, Ned, yeah.
He was all right. But I felt like, man, like, you know, when you watch certain movies, like, oh, that character made the movie. What movie we seen recently? And we was like, that character saved the movie. In Black Widow, we felt that
sister.
Yeah, right. So we was like, man, I felt like, man, she added a great layer to this movie. She was like, I don't like, you know me, I don't like the silly, but the way she was perfect. I felt like, man, and then like you guys said, you thinking he's like this top notch guy, and the way Marvel did it, the car and everything, and he's just you know, he's a chauffeur, or not a chauffeur, but he's you know, so far.
Okay, all right. So I want to start because I'm gonna just say this for you guys: the bus scene. I'm gonna just put it out there like that. What you guys think of the entire bus scene up until the end of it and whatnot? Dave, what do you think, bud?
One of the most choreographed pieces of fight. It gave me Jackie Chan vibes, bro. Like it felt like Jackie Chan was back.
Yes.
Huh?
Well, the choreographer from all his movies was on this movie. That's probably why. Or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So so you can see the elements, the jacket, the bang, when the dude was coming at him and he banged his face against the pole, then sat down and gave the girl a look like it screamed Jackie Chan. It was definitely a nod to him. But it was awesomely choreographed. I didn't like how Razorfish just sat in the back. Didn't do anything, and so everybody else. I never liked that about villains. Like if you're there to take out the hero, why are you gonna sit back, knowing that if you help,
because he feel like I'm
gonna let you beat up my thugs first, and then I'm gonna fight you.
Honestly, I just think that's a movie thing. That's just what happens in movies. You kind of have to do that.
Yeah, but regardless, the rest of the bus scene played out awesomely. A little unbelievable that the bus could stay on two wheels that far down the street. But whatever, it's Marvel. It's a comic book movie. You push.
It's a
You
movie in
push the
general.
bounds. Yeah, it's a movie in
Right.
general, but it's a comic book movie, so you got to push the bounds of reality a little further. And then of course he has a setback, the typical hero setback, loses the pendant.
Yeah.
Yep. So again, it was following textbook, but this is very exciting textbook. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like a textbook I want to read. Yeah.
I felt that what's the name? Razor Fist.
Razor Fist, yeah.
Yeah, I felt he did good sitting back there, because if you're one of the top assassins and then your boss tells you, oh yeah, you guys got to go bring my son back, but can't none of y'all do anything with him. I can't kill him. Y'all really can't beat him. And you could try as hard as you want to kill him, but you can't beat him. You're not going to beat him. I just sat there and watched too to make sure to see if this was even believable. Like, let me see. I'm going to have my team real fast before I step in. And that's what he did. I also like the guy with the glasses that's always in the movies. Hey, Spider-Man, go flip.
Yeah, do a flip.
Yo, he had me rolling.
He's a comedian, yeah.
But I always get yelled at when I do stuff.
So I want to know, does he live in New York or San Francisco? Did he find
Is he gonna be like the new Stan Lee?
He might
Like
be
showing up in every movie.
It might be a watcher. Who knows? You might not know.
Yeah,
I did like that part.
I forgot about that part. I like the whole aspect of him, even with the camera phone.
That
was cool.
I thought that added to it as well. But I don't want to go too far to it. And what do you think about the whole bus scene, man?
I'll say I think the dude with the phone was cool because it's adding a level of relevancy in the real world now. Everything's being recorded, so that was right on cue. Also, we just seen something recently, and they had a bunch of Free Guy had a bunch of real YouTubers in the movie, so that was like, oh wow, that was hinting right off of that. I think the bus fight scene, don't kill me, guys, it did feel a little long. I was like, damn, they're fighting for like half an hour in that bus, man. Where they going? But it was great though. It would say.
I said they always manage to smash a nice car.
Oh, they smashed a bunch of nice cars, but the scene was epic, man. Like Dave said, you felt that Jackie Chan vibe. Like, for me, action was always my movies. When I started off being into movies, it was action, right? I loved Van Damme, you name all of them, right? But then I got a history of the Asian stuff. Like Storm Riders is one of my favorite movies. Most people probably never even heard of Storm Riders, right? And Storm Riders, what is it? The Wolf, whatever. But man, so the bus scene cemented like what I seen in the trailer and was curious, like if the fighting was gonna be what I was like, oh, Marvel ain't gonna make a movie like that, right? It's the bus scene really gave me that. Now, Mike's brother did complain. His one complaint was that at one point they showed a bus go like that, the bus looked CG. And he was like bothered, like, man, that's terrible. I was like, dude, that scene was like a few seconds versus that action didn't bother me at all. So I wanted to throw that out there though. That didn't
sounded like me a little bit, right?
What's
for real. I was like, man. E-Smack he said
that's him right there. He said, that's my brother right there on there.
Yeah, he said he think dialogue was off in the beginning, then it flowed a lot better towards the end. I'm surprised he didn't mention the bus. Hold up. Damn, he left the bus out.
It's Free
Guy.
I was gonna ask you guys that too.
Yes, Free Guy is great. Yes.
I'll say this. Mike liked it a little more than me. Mike,
I'm surprised. I'm not a gamer. I'm surprised I liked it more than him actually.
Right. Yeah, no, you know why? Because it's tailors after games that I don't. So it tailors pretty much after the 3 games: The Sims, Fortnite, and GTA. That's pretty much, if you put those 3 games together, that's the movie. So, and I'm like, don't kill me for this, but GTA is very basic. You know, it's the game where every other game want to be GTA, but GTA is just basic and they do it well, right? And Fortnite is Fortnite and The Sims. So, so me, I want something like Elita 1. I want something like Ready Player One, the fantasy. That's my type of game. But if you like GTA or those,
that movie Gamer
with Gerard Butler,
yeah,
with Gerard Butler,
yeah,
that was good.
He was all right.
That was
I like-
Ready Player
sorry.
One was better. Ready Player One was
All right.
Yeah.
So from who I know in this chat, E, you will like Free Guy a lot. I'm not sure about Dave, but E would definitely. Like
I'm an
Yeah.
ultimate gamer, bro. I'm gonna tell you. So if it's in the aesthetic of video games, like I know about it, but I didn't know how good the action was in the movie. They haven't shown a lot of action.
Action's only okay, but the
Yeah.
story and the comedy is really good.
Okay.
See,
Then
see,
I'll
that's the
check it
thing.
out.
I need if you need to sway me with the action, like Ready Player One, Alita, that stuff. I'm in. But it's Ryan Reynolds. You know he did his thing with comedy, but no, I needed to go the other way.
I need a good
So that's
story.
why.
That's what I need. I needed a good
The
story.
story is good.
Story's good? Then yeah, then I'll check it out.
Yeah. And Taika Waititi, I'm this is my last thing I'm gonna say. I want to go top, but and Taika Waititi is good too to me as the villain. So
yeah, he plays the villain. Yeah.
I love Taika Waititi, by the way. But anyway, all right. So to this movie. So now we leave from the bus. He goes home and talks about his sister to Katie, and then we go to the next big.
Oh, you see what Chris said? It took them 4 weeks to film that
Yep.
scene, the bus scene.
Wow, I'm not surprised actually. The choreography in that scene, like the part where he gets out the bus and goes back in alone, is like crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. And then we got the next big set piece, action set piece is the fighting his sister's fighting ring or whatever like that. There's Easter eggs there, by the way, Dave, which I'll get into.
There's tons of Easter eggs, but go ahead.
But then we see the fight between Abomination and Wong. He gets in the ring, gets beat by his sister, and then let's go all the way through to where the 10 rings come after him and his sister, and then he fights the death dealer, and his father comes out. So what do you think about that whole set piece right there? E, what do you think about that, bro?
All right, so I loved when he got into the underground joint and the dude was calling him Bus Boy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Favorite Easter egg, Iron Man 3. Loved it. The Flame guy. That's one of the
Extremist Soldier.
AIM guys.
Yeah.
AIM guys. I like that. The Abomination thing upset me just a tad bit because we all know Abomination know how to talk. He knows how to speak. And that that's not Abomination.
Does he though? Because he was speaking the whole movie?
Yeah, he did. Hold on, stop. Let me say something. Hold up. Let me jump in here, being that's my favorite Marvel movie, that Hulk movie. So remember, he turned into the Abomination and he was more human-like, but this could be him regressing because he was more human, but he didn't have the fins on his head in that Hulk movie. So for me, I took it as that was the same Abomination, but he's more regressing to more of a creature than human. So maybe he can't speak full sentences, and now he actually got the fins on the side of his head and not, more human. So I'm just gonna take it as that.
Okay. All right. Keep going, A.
Character up.
Keep going, A. Oh, that's it about the scene.
Yeah. So that means they're gonna mess the character up when they do that. But after that part, the sister, I like the fact that she got so pissed off when she realized he never came back. He just left her, and that I felt the vibe on that one.
Yeah.
Aquafina betting against them. I wouldn't have bet against them after seeing that bus fight.
Nah, it was perfect for that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Perfect. And then the fight on the ledge and on the scaffold.
Rush hour.
Yeah, it was like rush hour. Yeah. All right, Dave, what do you think about that whole set piece, bro? The whole underground fight all the way to the scaffold.
All right, so even though this scene, that whole what we're gonna be talking about was loaded with Easter eggs, I felt like they could have did more in the lower fight ranks.
Yeah,
with a bunch of different things, a la the Collector. The way his room was littered with Easter eggs. Here we saw one. I want to say two. I want to say two because I want to say Street Fighter was referenced with E Honda in there with the sumo fighter.
Yeah,
and the slamming the dude against the wall. Look, he was dressed like Ryu. Like, if you think about it, he's wearing the gi. He's got.
When the Extremist Soldier was fighting a widow, a black widow.
Yeah. The Extremist Soldier. I was getting all that. The Extremist
not
Soldier,
only a black widow, a widow who was in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize whether she was in the movie or not. Because,
she was in the movie. Yeah.
So that I recognized there was a widow, and I recognized there was a Extremist Soldier. Like I said, I thought they could have did a little bit more. They could have had a bunch of lower level, kind of like throwaway characters, if you want. But they didn't do as much. The Abomination, I thought the same thing. I was like, didn't he speak? He has like more intelligence because he was talking crap to the Hulk.
Yep.
And Hulk was the one doing all the screaming. But he's right. He also could be regressing, and that's why Wong's trying to help him. I guess he went to Wong for help to like try to balance himself or whatever.
Because when
I can't imagine
background, that looked like the raft. That looked like a jail cell. That looked
like but it's like he was there teaching Abomination a lesson. We never
Yeah,
saw how
because
they got
Wong
there.
made it like they was playing it off.
Yeah, he made it like they were like, all right, I'm training you. And he's like, you gonna learn to control that punch now? Come on. And he just goes back like, okay, training's over.
All right.
You know, so I guess maybe that's his way of getting exercise.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why Wong is working for the government at the raft.
Right.
I guess he got tired of having Dr. Strange pay for his sandwiches.
First of all, Wong could go anywhere he wants. Okay, let's be clear.
Pretty much.
You're right.
Pretty much. He can sling ring anywhere he wants, but I also liked how he used the sling ring against Abomination. That was dope.
I thought that was dope.
Yeah, but like I said, this scene could have been littered with a little bit more Easter eggs. And
what about the fights on the scaffolds? How you feel about that? And the Death Dealer fight with him?
Exactly what he said. So the moment I saw the scaffolding and he went outside, I was like, here comes Rush Hour. The Rush Hour influence. There's going to be a big fight on the scaffold. And they even did the thing that Chris Tucker was doing. They put Katie in that spot. Like, come on, bro. But it's whatever. It's whatever. It was still an exciting fight. It was more exciting than a Rush Hour fight.
He almost said what Chris Tucker said.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
All right, and since you're the big action guru here who likes to go.
Yeah, let me jump in here, man.
Man.
They downplaying the action, man.
Rush Hour. No, it was dope. Cool. It was better than Rush Hour. So
yeah, you did say that. Chris said it was just Wong's what he does on his downtime. But man, listen. Okay, y'all touched a lot on the fighting in the ring. That was cool. I will say it was really cool when his sister knocked him out and won, because I feel like in this movie they probably was never gonna have her beat him legit, because you could tell he was better than her. And his dad was grooming him to be better than her. Actually, he wasn't even grooming her at all, right? So, but I thought it was cool for her to get that off. And I thought it was cool for Awkwafina to actually win, play stuff. That was just perfect comedy, right? Now, bro, come on, man. This movie competes with some of the great, like, martial arts movies, man. Like the Asian martial arts movie. Like American martial arts is cool, but, it's cool. But this, like, it's always a difference, right? Taking it to another level. And this took it to another level, and it's Marvel. The cool thing is all the fighting they was doing in that scene was no superpowers or anything. So you got a chance to have that legit martial arts action. And on top of that, the scene couldn't be any greater than you super high up on the side of a building when the thing was breaking and she was gonna fall and he had to jump, swing around, and then you see the suspense. I was like, part of me was like, yo, I think she's gonna die. Like, is she really, is that character Katie's gonna die, like, or his sister, is she gonna die and it take it in a different direction? But him having to save them, then on top of that, remember in this scene, his sister was left. She left him. So she wasn't cool with him at all. Yeah. So to have her have to turn back to help him and then to help Katie was like, because you figure she was against him. She didn't want to have nothing to do with him. So what was going to be the scene to bring them together? And this was it. And then on top of that, they got caught. It was like, because y'all guys ain't bringing that part in, because I guess we were stopping there. But on top of that, it was like all the fighting they was doing. It's like, okay, now they teamed up. Like, I love a martial arts movie where you got two people go against each other. They're like unstoppable. But then when they team up, okay, who gonna beat them? But they still got captured. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, I did say talk about that last fight too with him and the Death Dealer before his dad got there or whatever. So you're right. But and I thought that was a good fight as well. And I love how they flash back all the training that he went through with him or whatever, made him want to kill him and stuff like that. I thought that was really good.
Thought about it like.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I skipped the part. How did y'all feel about him? The whole training montage from when he was a kid, and then his dad sending him to go kill the guy. Yeah,
that's the kind of origin. That's the kind of origin story I like to see.
Yeah, I like that.
Told within the story where it doesn't slow down the movie.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
So deeper with it and do the 36 chambers. I thought
Yeah.
they would deep like that with him.
I like how they show how he got better, in which he was beating all the people in the training people at like
Yeah.
30 years old or whatever like that. So
I think what this movie did great with flashback, I think what Dave was saying was we watched a movie within a movie, right? The movie had the same it had its present day story, but as the movie went on, they constantly kept throwing in flashbacks, really good times of the movie to break it up, but to give you what you didn't like. You almost I almost felt like, oh man, are they never gonna say what happened? And then it was like, no, eventually they showed you. I was like, oh, that was bravo. Because usually
I love that, bro. I loved it. Yeah.
Because usually an origin story would just be in the beginning of the movie, and then the movie goes from there. This kept throwing you back in between the movie. That was good.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought even showing the sister and how she picked up stuff by herself, stuff like that. I thought that was dope as well. And then so the dad does catch him, as Ant said earlier, and stuff. And then they go back to his compound with all of them together. And the dad starts talking about how he's hearing the mom's voice and that he wants to go get her. He puts the 2 pendants on the eyes of the lion, and then the water
or the
scene,
dragon.
The dragon. Was that the dragon? Yeah, and
the dragon. Yeah,
a dragon, the map, and all that stuff or whatever. Cool. And then he locks them up. That was dope. What do you think about that whole part, though?
What pissed me off about that part, right?
Go ahead.
Is they know how serious his dad is as a person, not even just with the rings as a person. Right. Man is telling you he's hearing a voice. That's the mom. They were looking at him like he was losing his mind, like he was crazy. I didn't get that from him. I believed him when he said it. I
think the reason being, I think they know their mom died. The son watched their mom died in front of them. So for them, they're like, I think it was just a natural, like if your friends say, oh, I believe in ghosts, and you're like, hey, you don't get the hell out of here. It's a Scully and Mulder thing. So I think even though he was that serious, it's almost like I have a really close friend of mine, and what she believes some stuff that's out there. And I'm just like, listen, we're cool. We're peoples. We're like this, but you ain't bringing me into that because I just don't. So I just think that was the typical, they just like, wait, mom is speaking to you. Like, no, dad, mom died. And I think they felt like he couldn't get over the death and he was just reaching.
From a universe that had to fight Thanos. You're telling me a big purple alien landing on Earth with an army full of other types of monsters, and you can't believe your dad is hearing your mom's voice?
No, because she died. Unless they had people who died and kept coming back in the world, but that wasn't it.
But even then, she wasn't dusted.
Back.
What?
She died way before the dusting. Before Thanos snapped. Yeah, so it couldn't have been that.
Possibility is a must right now. Like,
because remember, he actually they set that up because they didn't believe Katie's grandma, who kept saying that her grandpa was coming back to get all the stuff or whatever like that.
Good one, Mike. Yes.
So and they kept saying like, you got to move on. Remember, she said it to her grandmother, stuff like that. So but Dave, bro, what'd you think about that whole part? And in the middle of there, Dave, they kind of retconned the whole Iron Man 3 stories. How'd you feel about that whole part?
I like that they cleaned the Iron Man story up. Somewhat. It never really bothered me when it came out. The Iron Man 3 thing. I knew they weren't. Once I saw Iron Man 3, I was like, okay, I felt a lot better about how they used the Mandarin.
Right.
Because I was like, they didn't go into that whole, like, it would have been weird to introduce a villain in Iron Man 3 when you're already introducing the extremists. So them cleaning that Iron Man 3 up the way they did, talking about, they named him after a chicken dish. I thought that was great.
I love that.
Yeah. It kind of wiped it up and was like, okay, so that's how the 10 rings got formed. But
named it after chicken dish.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? It was the 10 rings that captured Iron Man. This wasn't really answered. Was the 10 rings that captured Iron Man the fake 10 rings, like Aldrich Killian's version?
No. The first ones were the real 10 rings.
So what did he want with Iron Man?
Well, we never know. Whatever, like that.
Like, it would have been nice for them to touch on that if that was his.
So do me a favor.
Yeah.
So do me a favor, because you guys been watching these movies multiple times. I watch them once and I move on. So sometimes it's harder for my memory. When he was mentioning the Mandarin and stuff, I was like, oh yeah. But clear me up. What Iron Man like help?
I got you. All right,
All right.
I got it, Dave. All right, so he was trying to clear up Iron Man 3. So Iron Man 3, they had a terrorist in there and kept saying he was the Mandarin. He was the Mandarin and was representing the 10 rings. That wound up being a fake Mandarin, the actor, the same actor who wound up in the cave, Trevor Slattery. Now, it wasn't the real Mandarin. Now, what happened was the people, the fans went crazy. Like, why would you have a fake Mandarin instead of just not having a real Mandarin?
Here's
and
why.
why use... And why use Sir Ben Kingsley, such a great actor, just to be a fake Mandarin, right? So then what happened was they did what's called a Marvel one shot. So it's on Disney Plus right now. They did one scene inside of the jail with the Trevor Slattery character saying that he was hired as an actor and that he was a fake Mandarin. And then they have a guy in there saying, well, the person that you stole his name from, he wants you. And that's what he's talking about when he says he broke me out of jail. But there's a scene that shows that when they break him out of jail.
Broke him out.
Yeah, all hell the king. He breaks out of jail.
Yeah, but he was going to kill him. He broke him out of jail. And then found out he was like, all right, I'm going to keep you as a jester.
But hold on. So that's why they put that scene in this movie for him to say America got scared of a fake version of me. It was some guy who tried to use my name, but they wanted to kind of just clean that up because the fans were so mad at what Marvel did in that movie.
They felt like that they whitewashed the Mandarin. That's what it was. And they felt like they not only that, but they also dangled him to get asses in his cheeks.
Correct. And it
we were gonna see Iron Man versus Mandarin, bro. Iron Man versus Mandarin is like
it's huge in the comic book.
Yes, it's like Foreman to Ali in the comics.
He's really like his main villain, honestly.
He's really Iron Man's greatest villain. And the fact we never saw him do any of them. They give us bullshit whiplash before they give us the Mandarin. So they amped it up that we were going to see Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. People were mad that they whitewashed the role. They were like, "Oh, Mandarin in the comics is Asian," but bro, the real Mandarin in the comics is like racistly Asian. He's got the whole Fu Manchu mustache twirling.
Flash Gordon.
I think that. And I'm gonna move forward. I think that they would have accepted even the whitewashing had it been the real Mandarin.
Yeah, had it been the real Mandarin, and then we ended up getting Aldrich Killian, which I think is like one of the worst Marvel movies out there. Is Iron Man 3? Honestly,
it is. I agree.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember Iron Man 3, but I hate Iron Man 3. So anyway, real quick, while I wrap this up, in the first Iron Man, when he was captured, you would see the flag of the 10 rings behind Tony Stark when they got him in the cave. Talking on camera.
I just didn't know whose 10 rings did that though. I didn't know whose 10 rings that was.
That was Wenwoo's 10 rings, the real 10 rings.
That was the real.
So I would think that if Ironmonger goes and kills a bunch of his guys, like he did with the sonic piece in the ear when he went there to visit and he got the broken armor. If he kills a bunch of Wenwoo's guys, Wenwoo would want some vengeance for that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't just take it like, what happened? My whole Afghanistan unit got wiped out.
I don't think he cares about his guys like that. His guys
I don't think so either.
All right, forget it. All right, they lost the Iron Man armor. All right, forget it.
Let's throw this in there though. One thing, I think the scene you're all talking about, Mike, we might as well add this in there. Because Chris said, besides Katie, Trevor was the comic relief in the movie, and so was Morris, the no-headed butterfly.
No face.
I won't say butterfly, but
butterfly bear thing.
I don't see the butterfly in it. I see the like bird wings. Yeah.
But go all the way through, to where they got in the cave and they meet Trevor and tell his story. But I think I was on Dave. So what do you think about all of it? And the waterfall with the dragon eyes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
so I got a little confused in that scene. I thought they were locked up in jail, like they were locked behind an actual door.
They were.
But they were able to walk out and just go meet Trevor. Like
no, she broke the. So hold on. Let me jump in there real quick.
Hold on, this is
let me jump in there real quick.
Or before.
Go ahead.
So they were in a jail cell, but it was multiple jail cells. It was like a big room. It pretty much was like in the basement, like a dungeon. So you go just freely walk around. They heard somebody making noises, and it was just another room. His door was just open. You're all captured. It doesn't matter. So it wasn't like you were in your individual cell. You were just
So
down.
it was like block time. It was like block time. Like you guys can go out in jail.
I guess you.
You know what I mean?
Pretty
Before
much,
it's
yeah.
like lights out. When it's lights out, you got to go back to your room. They lock the door. See you at 5:30 in the morning.
I mean, because they still was family. They still was family, Dave. So it wasn't like you was just locked down in this thing where you couldn't escape. But they still wasn't like in individual cells. That's all.
Okay.
Family stuff, because that's
like their dad wasn't trying to keep them forever. He was trying to keep them to, like, if they didn't believe in his mission to go get the mom, he said, I'm gonna get her. Y'all gonna see when I get back. He was never gonna keep them in there forever. Like that was his plan. So
he was just there to get him out of his way so he could do what he got to do.
Got you.
Basically, but yeah, and you touch on all that stuff, and Trevor, go ahead, bro.
Well, let me jump in. So the Trevor thing was cool. I think it was cool to have another character. I mean, I was getting a little annoyed with so that I think a little differently. I'm more not the silly stuff. So I was getting a little annoyed with the, like, I even need to see it in the comic book. Like, did they create this no-headed chicken furry thing, or is that
strictly for the MCU?
Yeah, that's MCU stuff.
So that was really dumb. But I guess to make it so funny, so listen, it just worked in with it. I personally could have got rid of that whole thing, but I guess to make that Morris was the reason they found.
I'm about to say he's a MacGuffin in the movie. So
and then let me just touch on this. I didn't tell you, Mike, is when I went to see it again, I seen it in 3D.
Oh, nice.
I was like, you know what? Let me see it in 3D. It was terrible. So I definitely won't do that ever again. But because last time I seen Endgame in 3D, the first time I seen it, and then the next day I went to see it without 3D, and I was like, it was better not in 3D because you lose certain stuff in 3D.
Not only that, but people with glasses have a hard time really enjoying 3D, bro.
Yeah,
I do the same thing. I don't see any movie in 3D.
Well, so I haven't been wearing glasses that long, so just a 3D for me just isn't that good. There was about a few, maybe 2 or 3 scenes where, like, when remember when the sister was training and she swung the thing, or when she swung at one point, it came to the screen. But I was like, oh, so I feel like when 3D first came out, they did that a lot. Anyway, to get off of that, I thought with the trees moving and them driving after seeing it the second time, I thought the 3D was going to make that look cool. It didn't do anything, but that was a really cool scene. Morris, he's like, Trevor saying faster, because Morris is telling him and he's telling them. Just the dynamic of it was pretty cool. How when they got in the car, he was sitting in the front seat. I said, "What the hell are you doing in the front seat?" He's like, "Oh, I don't like being in the back." And then getting to the waterfall, and then they going through, and the water was like kind of just floating. And then when you said earlier, when you said earlier how Wong does the thing, it did that also. The portal to let them in the cave. And then they came through. That was really cool. It looked cool. It was suspenseful with the trees. Technically they didn't make it, right? Because the trees closed up on them, but they broke through the trees. Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
I thought, so let me get to my part. I thought everything part of that was, I like when he put the dragon eyes on it. Like I said, I thought that was cool. The Trevor, I like that they brought him back just because he wasn't Iron Man 3 to explain. He might have been on the screen too long. Morris and every animal in there is all from ancient Chinese lore. So they weren't like made up. Like they are from ancient Chinese lore. So they just wanted to add these Asian mythological creatures because it was an Asian film and whatnot.
But even Morris.
Even Morris. Yeah. It's
I need somebody.
And remember, that's how they described her land. She always described her land as we have a village full of mythical creatures.
Yeah, she said that.
It's called a Dijang or Hunlin. It's an ancient Chinneese animal, a headless, like bird, pig-like creature. They're all ancient Chinese mythological creatures. Yeah,
cool.
And whatnot.
Listen, you know what was cool?
I didn't know that.
This was cool. That big lion thing, dude. Play a Final Fantasy game. They are in the Final Fantasy games. I was like, oh, snap. I'm looking like, Final Fantasy 7. I was like, damn, that thing looks cool to see it on screen because they was in Final Fantasy 7.
So I'm sure, like, maybe not me, you, or even Americans, but probably Asians probably know all these mythological creatures and stuff like that. So
they probably was like, yo, they put that on screen?
Yeah, that's what they're Black Panther. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's what he was saying. I got what you were saying. Yeah, that's what I took it as.
Yeah, me too, or whatever like that. So, but I did think not Morris, but Trevor might have been on there. Just I understand why he was more of a, like you said, a MacGuffin or a plot device, Dave. But I did feel like sometimes he was a little too like maybe like 3 minutes too long for him or whatever. Like
Gotcha.
that. But I do like what Ant said about the whole getting through the forest and opening up the portal. It's dope because like in the beginning you only see the father get but so far. So to see them actually get through the portal, it's a whole nother dimension. It's not just like another part of the forest, a whole nother dimension. I think it's dope as hell. And then like the Nine Tails, I mean, we all seen them before. The Nine Tails box.
And like a million things.
And a couple of other bits. So I thought that was dope too. But then we get to the part like where they do meet the aunt. First, they meet the old man Guangbo, whatever like that.
Yeah,
who was very mean. And and by the way, he was one of the he was in an old Bruce Lee film. He was actually fighting with Bruce Lee or whatever like that. That old man or whatever. But anyway, the aunt meets them and tells them about the mom, and they get their own suits made from the dragon scale. She tells them about the whole lore of that land. Let's talk about that. What do you think about the lore of that land? And what she was telling them. Go ahead, E. What you thought about that?
The lore of the land, it was magical. I mean, there wasn't much to it. The only thing that, like I said, that shocked me of what she was speaking about that I was unprepared for was the evils parts.
Okay.
Like, ever seen none of that before. None of that stuff. So that stuff all new to me.
All right, Dave, what do you think about the whole lore of that land, the story she told them? All of it and stuff.
I loved it. Again, it filled out the story. I was just getting to the point where I'm like, how the hell does this place exist? So she answered a lot of questions. Seriously, not only that, but Michelle Yeoh is.
I love Michelle Yeoh, bro.
She's captivating in almost anything she's in. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. She's gonna play the role. I don't know if you guys saw Gunpowder Milkshake.
Yep.
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Yeah, she's good in that too. I love her in that too. You know, like so she can grab my attention almost any time. She could tell a story, obviously. You know, she fleshed everything out. It was great. I like, again, this is just another one of those perfectly placed flashbacks that move the story along in a positive way. So I loved it. I loved it.
And what about you and on that, the lore? And also, let's talk about the flashback. When you're done talking about the flashback, he showed, you know, when his mom, you know, did get killed and stuff like that and all that.
That came up. That was crazy, yo.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Ad though, you did nothing but just stand there. You didn't do anything. Nobody tried to be with this all high presence, and you ain't even do nothing to help your moms. Yeah, I felt him on that.
I mean, he was a little kid.
That was like a Rick James slap.
He would have died too. Let's be clear.
But go ahead.
So that's
wait, say it again. He would have what? When you say it again,
he would have died too. He was a little kid.
Oh yeah.
But trained a little. No, he didn't get trained.
No, he didn't. He got trained after that. Right. Yeah, he got trained after his mom's death.
Yeah. What was deep though, when you don't think about it, is he said to his mom, "You don't have your powers."
Yeah.
That was cool. Like, he said, "Mom, you don't have your powers."
Well, because she was telling them the story of how she gave them up. To become normal, and he gave.
I'm just saying, it's cool the knowledge of my mom had powers. But let me get into one thing you guys skipped over was one cool thing with the lore of this was how they said they was like the oldest civilization.
Yes.
So when they said that, I was thinking about the Eternals. I was like, wait, hold on. So it just made me start thinking like, wait. Like Marvel is deep with all these different. Where Marvel is going, it's like we was here on the ground, and Marvel is like coming from the skies now. So, but that got me. I was like, she said, you know, they're one of the oldest civilizations. Like, wow, they've been around.
But in a whole other dimension, though, they're saying.
Yes, when they showed all the statues. Go ahead.
No, I was about to ask you guys, but how old? Because remember when remember the old guy that was up there with the staff. He checked them and was like, "Watch how you talk to me, young man, because I'm older than you."
I lived 10 of your lifetimes, So I mean, 10 of that guy's lifetimes. If you count that as 100 years, let's just say he lived 1,000 years.
Yeah, the dad was 1,000 years old.
But they're saying that the civilization was years ago.
Yeah. No, listen to Mike. Say it again. Mike is on it. Say it, Mike.
Yeah, the old guy is only 100 years old, but the civilization has been around for thousands of years.
Correct.
Or whatever, like the whole older cities and stuff like that and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, the city
Because remember, she said that real quick, and where they're at is like the border between the two dimensions. But there's more cities behind them we didn't even see.
Right.
And whatnot.
Right. That's when she was talking about she showed like statues of everything, and she was explaining.
When she showed the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So like if you keep going, there's probably more and more and more that we didn't even see. Whatever.
Right.
But go ahead, Ant. Were you done? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I'm done. Yeah. I just wanted to add. I felt that was important to add about the civilization being the oldest.
All right, cool. All right. So now we're at the Marvel third and final act.
Climactic clash.
Climactic clash, which is normally heavily CGI. So that's Marvel. We're used to that or whatever like that. But we do get Wenwoo and his troops getting there with Razor Fist and Death Dealer. We get several fights. The sister and Razor Fist, the auntie and Death Dealer, the dad and Wenwoo in their first fight inside the room.
Mike, back up a little bit. We even get the aunt and Shang-Chi.
I'm sorry. Training. I forgot about that part. You can add that to it or whatever like that. What y'all thought about all that though? Dave, we thought about all that, bro.
I didn't like the fact that they added Katie to the battle. I'm sorry, but all right. So this is where I'm going to start nitpicking because you're going to have to nitpick something.
All right, well, let's do this one thing real quick. Let's just go up until the dragon. Stop there. Don't. Let's let from the dragon on will be the end.
Okay.
Of it. So yeah, go to that.
So stop. Hold on. So stop after the first fight between the dad and Shang-Chi, where he knocked him in the water. That's what Ant's talking about.
Yes. Right. So we can discuss all of that.
Stop there.
Yeah,
right?
Stop there.
Okay. All right. Cool. So the training. All right. So you're telling me that it took 8 years to learn your father's style of fighting, with him beating him with the sticks and everything, and it took him 3 days to learn his mother's style of fighting. Yeah.
So let me jump on that, Dave. Hold on, real quick, Dave. I feel like notice. His dad's training is more physical. His mom's training is more heart, right? So I feel like you just can't learn what she learns if you don't have the heart. Remember, the aunt said you are your mom, like you are your ancestors is one of you. So I feel like he just needed someone to unlock that in him. Because he essentially was like her fighting style is more defensive, right? It's more, I'm trying to stop you. I'm not, whereas his dad, you training to be aggressive and offensive. So you need to be trained to do that. This is just, you're deflecting. You're pretty much, I feel like he just needed to have that unlocked. That's the way I took it. He didn't need to be trained. He needed to bring it out from within him. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Right, also, real quick, Dave. Remember, his mother said before she died, "The heart of the dragon is in you," or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So I felt like he said it was already in him and stuff like that. But go ahead.
So that could possibly explain how he could pick up all that in 3 days. All right, Katie, on the other hand, she used to park cars. Now all of a sudden she's a world-class archer in 3 days.
But where'd you get world class from? Like, I don't get
she's fighting a mystical army, bro.
Right. Like 2 shots.
Yo,
he's saying
she's a 3-day amateur with a bow and arrow. If she practiced all 3 of those days, I'm pretty sure she probably didn't.
Okay, she did. They practiced all day.
Let's just say she did. I can go in my backyard right now for 3 days with a bow and arrow. I'm not going to be shooting no dragon out.
You got to be trained by world-class archers for 3 days. You ain't obviously you ain't going out there by yourself with no training.
So mind you, these guys who trained all these years there before she got there, they're all trained in defensive tactics and defensive maneuvers. How did she survive the whole fight? Obviously, I know why. I know why, because she got one of the bigger checks that they had to sign. Hold on.
So
her name is Aquafina.
Hold on. In the beginning, they left her inside. Remember, he said you can't come out here.
At the first, yes. I'm talking for the main battle. I'm not even talking about that first battle. The main battle. The main battle. Yeah.
But all of them didn't get picked off. Like those little ghouls were like picking them up at randomly. She just wasn't picked off. Hold on. That's not true. They all didn't get picked up.
I got a better explanation for that. Aquafina was one of the stars of this movie, and they couldn't kill her off early because they needed her for part 2 to be like the comedic foil to Simu Lee.
Where they messed up at, and I will agree with him on, is when she was shooting the arrows and she had all the other people standing next to her shooting the arrows. Her arrow hit almost the middle, and nobody else has hit anything, and these people been there.
No, hold on. Her first arrow was really off, and she was excited, and they was looking at her like, you barely did anything.
Everybody else arrow didn't even land on the circle at all.
No, I thought it was multiple circles. I felt that a few people were shooting at that one, a few people shooting at that one, a few people shooting at that one. So remember, hers was way off, and then the next time they showed, she got in the middle, and a bunch of people got in the middle. It was like 3 arrows in the middle.
Regardless, right? I always felt, I felt that if they wanted to make her like one of these, it would have been dope. And disagree with me or disagree with me if you guys want. It would have been dope that the person that that Shang-Chi was sent to kill would have been her grandfather that the grandmother was waiting on, because she was part of the 10 Rings and technically knew how to fight and had some kind of power.
Bro,
I could have bought
way
that.
Too much shit to the story.
Yo, I could have bought that. Yo, I could have bought that rather than 3 days with a bow and arrow and she's gonna save the galaxy.
Okay, hold on. To me, she was still like an amateur. She was never fighting or whatever. They gave her an arrow and she got lucky and hit it through.
Yeah, she got lucky, 2 lucky shots. That's it. Yeah. She got the one shot. She had 3 shots the whole movie. Yeah. 1 shot was way off.
Right.
1 shot was in the middle, and 1 shot hit in the neck. That's it. You got lucky 2 times.
Okay.
Can you not just
being the fact that they built her up to be this driver, I would have even been okay with her driving around in the car.
Who built up to be a driver? How did that? What did that happen?
Hold on. Let's say
beginning of the movie, she jumps behind the whip of the Ferrari and takes it out. And I'm sorry, she's whipping that shit. All right. Then she also drives the bus.
But she also
drives Razor Fist's car away.
Right, that was her big driving moment, driving through the forest, or whatever. Like
so, don't you think if you have her, I thought her big driving moment could have been the bus too.
Okay, whatever.
No. But, so the bus, take the bus out of it. The bus was anybody in the bus could have drove the bus. That was just like, oh my God, get behind the wheel. That's all that was. Hey, take the wheel. That's all that was. Listen to me.
They didn't give you Sandra Bullock speed vibes. Like
it's the same thing though.
She was the most qualified person on that bus to drive that bus.
No, not most qualified. Don't do that. No,
wait,
she just had.
Why would you show her ripping a Ferrari around in the beginning of the movie?
That was just to show her neglect as a character. That was just to build up her being not a serious character.
Not responsible.
Yeah. Right, not responsible. Don't take I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. Just get in the car. Really? For real?
Anybody on these cameras, can anybody here do a speeding 180 burnout like she did or no?
No.
Hey,
I can't.
Back in the day.
I'm crashing, bro. Easy. You can do that?
But again, I think they show her driving prowess in the forest or whatever like that. So I agree with you. I think they used the first car driving to show.
You know what I felt like. I felt like you're watching a guy or a girl train with knives, and then when the main battle comes, they whip out a baseball bat.
But I'm just gonna say one last thing, Dave. I'm gonna say one last thing. One last thing. To be fair, bro, that dragon demon thing was like giant. So did she really? She ain't that. Don't make that extravagant. She just had to make her arrow get that far and hit his neck. That thing was giant. So at the end of the day, like anybody could have did that.
Well, I don't want to get hung up on this particular.
All right.
That was my thing in the movie where I'm like, gee, she could have just watched out for the kids or saved Morris or something.
Bro, but you said it. She's a main character in the movie. She can't just be in the house the rest of the time or whatever like that. It don't work like that. Anyway,
she had more of an impact on that fight than Michelle Yeoh did. But I'm just gonna leave that there.
But go ahead. That's it. You done? All right, and you go with that whole part. Are you done already?
No. So yeah, I you know what? The climactic clash. Everybody's get together. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten it a little bit. I just thought it was good fighting scenes. I feel like it was good placements of silliness because I like my silliness spaced out a little bit. I think it was good. It was good placements. The characters who was silly was silly. It was deep too. Like the Gung Bo guy died. Y'all leaving out deaths. The character with
said stop. You said stop at the part where he got in the water or whatever. So that's what it looks like a bit. When you get to that, where he died. He died later on after the dragon came out.
Oh,
he did. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Oh, sorry. So, all right, cool. Right, that whole scene, I felt like, all right, cool. So,
stop.
No, I did, but I thought that happened before that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought that happened before that. Yeah, I just think that was a good scene. It was good character placement. There's one thing I want to say. Yeah, I was cool
Let me
with
bring
all
this
of
and
that.
brings back together. All right, because Dave took us on a tangent. First of all,
Yeah, you did.
I did like the training. I get your point, Dave, but I'm not gonna go back into that. I did like the first fight between Shang-Chi and Wenwoo and inside the little temple and outside on the grass. I like the talking and fighting between those two. Like you can see where like they both love each other, but also has hate for each other too, and different reasons and stuff like that. I like how determined Wenwoo was. It definitely showed his reasoning, like he loved his wife and he was lost without her. So it was more than just like I want money or power, like a typical villain and stuff like that. So I kind of like that as well. I like when Shang-Chi said, even if you could bring her back, would she even go with you?
Ooh,
I thought that was deep as well. And that's what really set him off. I like the scene where he hit him with the rings in his stomach, brought him back to him, and then hit him again and got him in the water. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
And then brought the rings back again out the water.
Yeah, but I also like where Shang-Chi had the stick and was knocking him down as they was coming and stuff like that. I thought that was dope too. So that whole fight scene to me was amazing.
And just to think, when the rings are flying, he's slapping them all, and those are just 10 individual rings. It almost felt like he could have had a machine gun shooting at them because each ring was coming back and going. Just fathom that. And he's smacking them with the thing. One thing I want to say to the audience. Hey, Chris, don't condone Dave, all right? He said Dave makes a good point. Don't do that, all right? Because we'll be on here all day with Dave.
I'm making a good point. I'm making a good point, man.
All right. So next up, I know Dave got to go. So we're gonna end it on the last part, like Ant said in the beginning. You see Wenwoo fly across the room with the wings or whatever, say him do something else new, and then we get the part where Shang-Chi's in the water and sees the Great Protector, the dragon, and stuff like that. Comes out. Meanwhile, Wenwoo, like you said, he's putting the rings together, knocking down the wall. The creatures are coming out and taking. They took my man Death Dealer's soul right away. I was mad about that. Like I want to kind of see more from Death Dealer.
Don't apologize, Chris. Don't apologize, Chris.
But anyway, then we get the huge fight. We're gonna bring it all together. Huge fight between Wenwoo and his son. We see Shang-Chi take over the first 5 of the rings, then the other 5 and whatnot.
Yeah,
and that was dope. Also, let me get my part right now. I loved how Wenwoo realized this creature came out, and then he get the rings back to save his son or whatever. Like Wenwoo's control of these wings is crazy. The whole movie for me. But anyway, and then
he's had 1,000 years to learn.
Right. But then he gives them back to his son and whatnot, and then we get the whole ending, which you guys already know. So I'll let you guys get into it, man. We thought about the whole ending at that point.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The only thing that confused me was, all right, so you see how the dragon came up, right? You saw the dragon in the water.
Yeah.
I thought she said that the dragon killed itself to give them armor and weapons and all that stuff.
No, they got dragon scales. They got parts of the dragon, but not the whole dragon.
Okay.
Right.
That's right. That when I was watching, I was like, wait, how the hell the dragon still alive? But all right. So I like that. Wenwoo busting down the gate. I was feeling him, but I wanted to know why didn't he stop once he saw the creatures coming out?
I don't think he saw them because they were like so high.
Yeah, I don't think he saw them either.
Yeah,
he was just banging. They was flying over his head.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because okay. I'm glad y'all was there with me then.
Well, I saw it twice, so it's different for us or whatever. It's what Anthony does. So
yeah.
The creature threw me off. All right, I wasn't expecting no kaiju fight.
Yeah,
like
that was different.
The kaiju stuff, like that's the world it took me to. The first thing I thought about was like when King Kong went to Middle Earth.
Yeah,
that's where my mind started going once I seen the kaiju come through the gate.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna regret doing this, but Dave, how about you? The whole ending, bro.
So the Great Protector, could we just call him Fing Fang Foom?
No,
nah.
No. No.
I mean,
You think they're ever gonna introduce? Hold on, you got a movie with the 10 rings. Those rings were originally his.
But do you know why they stopped doing that, bro? That's like
they don't have to give him Fing Fang Foom's personality.
They can't call him the name. Like if they say that name, that movie will not be played in any Asian. Like that's like that's like saying the N-word out here. Like they hate that. Like
you serious?
Yes, that's like
dude. Hold
that's
up.
why they changed everything about us.
That's exactly why. And remember, Fing Fang Foom came from the Savage Land. Yeah. He don't have nothing with that.
No, he was the pilot of the spaceship where Mandarin got his rings.
Yeah, but don't he run the?
Fing Fang. I feel bad. I feel like saying Redskins here. So,
but for them, he represents something bad in the Asian culture.
I'm gonna just call him Triple F. But I mean, that's pretty much what he is. But in the comics, his spaceship crashes here, and Mandarin finds his spaceship, and that's how he obtains the rings.
I don't think that's him though, as this bad. Or he's going to great protect you.
You can never. You know why? Because as dated a character, I'm gonna call him dated a character as it is. I mean, it is a dragon. Yeah. They did the personality they gave him in comics was very racist.
Right.
They didn't have to have him talk. I didn't need him to talk and have that personality. Just have him refer to him by the name. But obviously, I didn't know the name. I didn't know the connotations over there.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So now I kind
of when this movie was first, real quick. When this movie was first announced, they already was like, "We ain't going to see that shit if it's Fing Fang Foom in there or any name of that at all."
I'm not even gonna say Fing Fang Foom no more. I'm gonna say it's the MCU Dragon.
Triple F, right?
Like watching the football team. MCU Dragon.
The Savage Land. I could have sworn, not from the Savage Land, but I could have sworn that's where he's at. He's in the Savage. He's probably chilled there quite a few times.
Anyway, wrap it up. So the whole ending, Dave. It
was amazing. The fight between him and Wenwoo, top notch choreography. The him beating down the gate, the scenes of him just wailing on that gate, bro. That was classic. I mean, it was great, yo. And then they started to lose me when they got into the monster fight because I came to see Shang-Chi kick ass, not Triple F kick ass. But
I felt like I was watching Game of Thrones, the dragon fight, a little bit of that.
I felt like I was watching what's that movie? Never Ending Story.
Man, Godzilla.
Oh my god!
Didn't the dragon look like the white dog from Never Ending Story?
I was gonna say that. His name is Falcor.
And especially with them riding him, like. They're not even telling him where to go or what to do. He just kind of knows. I don't know. It's whatever. I didn't care. It didn't ruin the movie for me. At that point, I had so much good movie. Like you would have had to start playing Black Widow for me to be like, wait. For me to get mad. So
the ending.
All right. So here's what's cool with me. When I dozed off, I was dozing in and out when we seen it. And one thing I complained to Mike was that I was like, yo, what the hell is this? A creature movie? Like I wake up and there's big creatures fighting each other. So that's what my big gripe was. The cool thing was when I watched it again, notice the first thing I said was this was probably the most stunning looking superpowers, because what I took out of it was as these creatures are fighting and the dragon, and his name was Falcor from Never Ending Story. I was a diehard fan of that when I was a kid. But the luck dragon, he was a luck dragon. Shang-Chi, as he ran on Falcor's back, whatever, and was jumping in the air, like that one scene where it was like Spider-Man, he was swinging on a web pretty much, but it was his ring holding like the air and holding him up. And so that when I was dozing in and out the day I first seen it, it bothered me. I was like, what the hell? We got a creature, a kaiju's fighting, whatever, this Pacific Rim. But when I got to watch it again and fully see, like, okay, the creature that was being locked behind there, that was pretty much, it was world threatening, right? If this thing get out, it could consume the world, right? So Mike, remember when we watched the Tomorrow War, right?
Yeah.
We was like, man, those creatures look really, so the artwork of the creatures was pretty cool for in the future, blah blah blah. I felt this being something, it looked like it could have been like death, like it came from hell, it had tentacles. So visually it was a cool looking, creepy, I mean, the little demons that flew around essentially sucked your soul and fed it the souls, right? So it had a great look. The luck dragon, or the dragon, the protector, you know, being in the water. My one issue that I got to complain on that I'm surprised Dave didn't nitpick. Bro, he was in the water way too long. I was like, all right, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Like, he's a regular human, and the rings make him superhuman, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was talking to my son before I went to see the movie the second time, and he was like, I'm gonna see it, but is he just a regular person like Black Widow? And I was like, okay, he is, but he isn't. He's like, what do you mean?
Only thing I can say, and I think that land gives them powers or whatever.
Okay.
That's why he says, "Mom, you don't have your powers anymore." So I feel like when they're there, they're kind of like, especially if you're from that blood, that descent. I think it gives you like power while you're there,
right,
or whatever like that. That's the only thing.
All right, that's fine. So then we could get back, because I mean it was cool to show the bubbles go in him to give him oxygen.
Yeah.
Which kind of negates the fact of what you were saying, because technically they knew you could drown, so that's why I was giving him oxygen. He was just underwater for a long time. But anyway, so he get the oxygen, he come out. I just feel like, yeah, I'm with you guys that it bothered. I mean, maybe I would have rather his dad just be the main bad guy and he just have to beat him. But
he was an awesome bad guy.
He was an awesome bad guy. But I get what Mike was saying, that he loved this. He was doing it like he was doing it, all of this, because he believed his wife was alive. But obviously the thing, I guess I have a hard time with this big creature battle. But at the same time, it was epic. But I felt like maybe it was just a bit too much for me. I don't know if they needed to go there. Like,
I agree. I think it might have wound up being just. I see what it was needed, because his dad couldn't have been the main bad guy only because his dad actually was trying to get his mother back. So like, to say I'm gonna kill you because you were trying to get my mother back is kind of a lot, or whatever like that. But I feel like that now the dad would just come in there to steal power like he went there the first time for, that would have been different. But the second time he went there was for a different reason. So I feel like it changed the whole narrative a bit on that.
In the movie, he did say he's gonna kill his dad.
He did, but then he couldn't do it or whatever. Because remember, he had the rings, like the Kamehameha ball and shit like that, about to hit him with it. And then he dropped them or whatever like that, because he loved his dad. And he said, that's what he said, Dad, I wish she was there, but she's not. And I feel like that was the moment where the dad realized that she's not, and then that's when he saved his son by getting the rings back. But I do feel like maybe I don't know if the creatures were too big or what, but they feel like
maybe it was too big. Yeah, maybe that's. I mean, it gave you the great scenes of him running on the dragon and swinging it. I mean, it gave you some great scenes, but I just felt like, man, this was so over the top.
Like that, you feel like that because Marvel has a remedy that they normally do, and they didn't do it with this movie. The remedy is everybody's first movie, they usually fight somebody that's identical to them. So Cap was
Winter Soldier,
Red Skull,
Red Skull.
Yeah, Red Skull. Black Panther had Killmonger. You're usually fighting somebody that's typically like you.
Always.
I think. See,
that's
here's
one of the biggest comic book tropes.
I think that
Iron Man fought Ironmonger in the first one.
I think Ant hit it on the head, that it was just a little too big. I think that's why I love Winter Soldier so much, because even that third battle, even though they were fighting on like ships that were falling or whatever, but it was just two guys fighting, Captain America, Winter Soldier, at the end of the day, right? So I feel like this one is like the dragon part was maybe like Ant got a point. They probably could have made his dad realize and then help them rather than have the big dragon come out or whatever like that at the end of the day or whatever. But let's move on to the end credit scenes, man. They do defeat them and stuff like that. And let's talk about Wong and going to get them. And what he tells them, you see Captain Marvel, as we see on E's shirt. Go ahead, Dave.
Not to cut you off, but what Chris is saying, I was wanting to say that to him before we jumped into this part. How do you fall asleep on a movie like this?
Oh, I fell asleep.
So I'll say this.
So did my brother, by the way.
Explain the logistics
my
here.
My brother slept for like half the movie, by the way. I was next
to
explain the logistics to me. How you fall asleep?
I'll explain. I do a show. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, E.
Oh no, I was just explaining. It's simple. It was dark, and there was a lot of this at certain points.
It wasn't a lot of talking.
I'm gonna explain it better. I do a show on Wednesday nights at 5:30 p.m. That Wednesday, I did it 8-hour stream. So 5:30, 8 hours is well past midnight. But then I was supposed to do a stream earlier. So I was hell bent on getting my next stream out. I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. So it's probably like 1:30 I started my new stream. So it was well after 3. And I was falling asleep on my stream. So I was so tired from that day. Like I still was tired. Like that Thursday, my wife and I, we do a show. And after that show, I just like passed out. So I still had the residue of sleep, staying up super late that day. Again, E said it perfect. Listen, I'm eating snacks. It's dark. Well, I didn't eat snacks that day, but it's dark. You're sitting in that comfy seat. I got my feet laid back. You know, I watched already because the movie was 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I already watched what? Forget that. You add 20 minutes of the trailer. You know, we was in there. Dude, it's just, if I'm tired, I'm gonna fall asleep. I don't care what it is. I don't care. I don't want people to feel like it's against the movie. The movie's bad. The movie wasn't bad. I was just tired, bro.
I want to say that this movie probably had less talking than every Marvel movie or whatever because it had a lot more action. But I will say that my trick is, and I never put my recliner up because I know it can make me fall asleep. So if you notice, I always keep the recliner down so I don't fall asleep in the movie.
So it's funny because I got a trick for that. All I got, I either at home I eat sunflower seeds or I eat, like when I'm on long drives, I eat M&M with peanuts. It stimulates your mind. Like yesterday when I went to the theater, I was still kind of tired. And so I was sitting in the theater dozing off a little bit. And I was like, I got up and went and bought $4.99 bag of M&Ms. And I was good.
Okay.
I was like, yo, because what I do is I eat the chocolate around the nuts first. And then so it gives your mind, it stimulates your mind, like something to do. I didn't know how else to say it. So
anyway.
Oh, look at this.
Oh man, okay, yeah, we're on the post credit scene. Dave, answer that, bro. Talk about that.
All right, so having Wong show up, that was dope. Having Captain Marvel and Hulk there analyzing the rings, that was dope too. Obviously, my first question was, what the fuck happened to Professor Hulk? But whatever. I guess we're gonna find out in She-Hulk or.
What do you mean? What's wrong with him?
Well, why is he not Professor Hulk anymore? Why is he just?
Because he turned back to Bruce. Okay.
Yeah. So I got to figure out what happened there. I guess we're gonna find out in She-Hulk or whatever. Maybe he gives her his blood and she borrows it for a while. I thought it was great that they couldn't figure out anything about the rings. I hate that it's a beacon for something because that beacon should have been ringing for 1,000 years now.
Right.
No. See, you don't ever listen. It didn't go up until Shang-Chi got the rings or whatever like that. So they were from blue to orange or whatever like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So once you use the rings, the beacon went off.
So it's him because remember when he fought the mother turned some of the rings orange too.
Yep. She turned them orange when she made.
So why did that beacon click on them? That's the first thing I thought when he said that. I saw the
but
rings.
She never actually used them though. She just gave it back to him. I thought.
Right.
No, she shot them at him and they were orange. She
all right. So regardless, we all know who it's signaling. And you know.
But wait, who's signaling? I'm confused on that.
Galactus.
Yeah, look what Chris said.
Yeah,
he said, I believe the rings are a beacon that is summoning Galactus for Avengers 5 in Phase 5.
Bro. See, come on, bro. That's
we got a lot of movies coming that are building up to that.
Yo, it's already alien. It's already alien in nature, and when Galactus first ever debuted, it was because it was a beacon put on Earth to summon him, and it just fits, bro. It fits.
Do you think it got anything to do with the Celestials or the next movie?
I feel that
the Eternals.
Yeah,
the Eternals. That waits to be seen. If we get some more shit, but these things. Remember, the Eternals came to Earth and helped Earth. They didn't help that particular dimension. Those rings are obviously from that dimension, being the fact that the mother already knew about them, and she's like, "Is that it? That all you got?" Like she's seen them before. And the fact that she can control them as well, makes me think that those rings are maybe forged from that
Well,
dimension.
here, let's throw this in, Dave. It was really cool when they was like, we can't even figure out where these rings are from, how old they are. Like, they was like, oh no, it's older than that. You know,
yeah. He said it's older
the mystery of it is pretty cool.
Yeah. So they left the mystery on there.
I feel too small.
Sorry.
Okay. I like the continuity of having Hawk still with the messed up arm from England.
Yeah, that's cool.
I feel
does the arm never heal?
it should have healed by now. He's Gamma. It should have healed by now.
Bro, that was the whole Infinity Gauntlet that he had to use, or whatever, like that. What you mean? It killed Iron Man. The hell, it can't mess up his arm. Like,
it didn't destroy Iron Man like that, though. This talking about the Hulk, bro. Like Iron Man was still Iron Man still walked away after. Okay, I'm gonna walk and sit down now. Like
he died. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but he walked to his death. And he's Hulk snapped and fell out. Like, like, you know, come on, bro. So anyway, regardless of that, I guess that's just a question for She-Hulk.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Any thoughts from you, Ant, on that post-credit scene?
Well, both of them, right? I mean, it was cool that Wong came in and got them. I thought it was really cool just to show Captain Marvel, because I haven't seen or heard anything about her in like any of the movies. So that was really cool.
But she's like really good friends with the director of this movie. I think she got him this job.
She was in like 3 of his movies already.
Yeah, she was.
Cool. I know, you know, there's so much stuff about her and blah blah blah. But I'm trying to get into all of that. But it was cool to see her. She looked a little weird to me though, with her hair and stuff. I don't know.
The new outfit.
And her eyes looked like it was dark underneath her eyes or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, she looked a little weird. But and Hulk, he's showing his age. He looked, even though the screen that they were showing him was kind of like grayed out, but I was like, dang, he look old as hell now.
Yeah,
but,
that's my thing about Mark Ruffalo. Like, he started to look real old to be Hulk to me a little bit. So.
I don't know why. Honestly, damn. I love him as Hulk, but I don't know why they went so old in 2012. Like,
man, I wanted Edward. Edward Norton was as good as it get, if you ask me, bro.
That was.
So, but anyways, and then at the very end,
go ahead, yeah, keep going. Yep.
Yeah, what happened at the very end?
The sister is now, she took over the 10 rings.
Yeah. I mean,
let's discuss all the Easter eggs in this scene that I missed.
Care about that.
I didn't see any.
I didn't see any either.
I didn't see any.
So Dave, so you think it's setting up what? Just Shang-Chi 2?
Shang-Chi 2?
I don't. I think it's setting up for like either the roadie show. What's it called?
Armor Wars?
Armor Wars, yeah. Or I think it's setting up.
No, Black Panther 2 is going to be setting up Armor Wars. They already cast Riri Williams to be the new Iron Man.
Yeah, they did.
She got her own show, Ironheart.
Huh? Yeah, no, but yeah, she's going to debut in Armor Wars though.
Yeah, just like
so her origin's going to be in Armor Wars,
right? But I think that's going to be one of his villains or whatever. Because remember,
but she's starting off in Black Panther 2.
No, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Rhodey himself.
Oh, Rhodey.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
You think Armor Wars? You think he's in? Oh no, I don't think so.
Rhodey's his own show, Armor Wars.
Yeah, but why would she want to go fight Rhodey for what?
I think he's going to go after her. Remember, let's not forget he is a U.S. fucking military captain or whatever like that. People forget that about Rhodey.
Yeah, let's also remember that this same group that he's supposedly going after kidnapped the fucking Tony Stark, and the military is already on their radar. Why are they doing that with him then?
After all these years, debuting in Wakanda with Forever.
Yep.
Ironheart is not Ironheart. Yeah, her own show.
Riri Williams. No, I'm talking about the actress and the character. Riri Williams.
I know that, but that's a whole different show to Armor Wars. There's 2 different shows, Ironheart and Armor Wars, or whatever.
But okay, from what I hear, Armor Wars is Don Cheadle and her.
Ironheart continues in Armor Wars, though.
Yes, it's gonna be her and Don Cheadle.
Right, but she's a hero. I'm talking about the villain right now.
The villain. Oh, the villain for
10 rings. Yes, exactly.
I can't see it.
Yes,
but
the
10 rings seem like more of a Hawkeye villain.
I was gonna say, but not Hawkeye though. Or I think she'll be on another Disney Plus show, kind of like the Power Broker Sharon Carter was and stuff like that. I don't think she's gonna be the Shang-Chi 2 villain. That's just too easy or whatever like that. I think it's setting up more stuff.
I think it is. I think
she would be a bad villain.
She might be the Shang-Chi
just go and wreck. He will go and wreck her and her.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think this is too easy, too weak, or whatever like that.
But that's the thing. I don't think she's gonna be. I can't say that she's gonna be directly fucking with him. I understand she's not going to be building this army to go after him. She's building this
I
army
think we're going to
think
see
about this. Think about this. She already had her own fight club before any undue influence in her life.
Yes.
So regardless, she was already criminally minded. She never came out and said, "I'm a good person. I want to help." No, everything she did in this movie was for her family or her own survival. So all she's trying to do is just start a criminal organization, like her father had.
I think the 10 rings are going to be out there like the widows,
and I think
they're going to be throughout the MCU,
and
causing havoc, like in several Disney Plus shows and movies. I think we're going to see them like we saw the Dora Milaje and Falcon and Winter Soldier and different shows. I think they're going to be there. I don't think we're going to see her as like the main villain of Shang-Chi too, whatever like that.
No, it fits with Marvel's. It fits with Marvel's blueprint. Marvel's blueprint is if you're gonna have somebody fight Shang-Chi, it's got to be somebody who's just as good as Shang-Chi.
Bro, if he goes there with his powers and the rings, I'm like, he'll wreck the whole fucking place or whatever like that. Like,
that's if he has the rings. And remember, in the comics, Shang-Chi don't got no rings.
Right.
It's just for now.
Let's
right now they're of cosmic proportion and cosmic importance now. So
let's get off of that.
Stick around.
Go ahead. All
right, hold on. Listen. Let's get on Shang-Chi as a character. So my thing is, just being honest, this was official, right? Like for me, wow, what a cool introduction of a character. Now it was called In the 10 Rings. So the question is, do we give up the 10 rings or do we keep the 10? Because when my son was asking me, but he didn't want me to spoil it, he was like, so I mean, is he like a human character, like Hawkeye and Black Widow and Iron Man? I was like, oh, don't put Iron Man in that league. It's like he's a human. I was like, but Iron Man. I was like, all right, he's in the sense of Iron Man with stuff, right? So now that you guys seen it, I don't have to sit what I'm gonna say, dude. If he give up the 10 rings, that's gonna be bad for me. That's him as a character.
The 10 rings will be a part of him forever, right now.
Thank you. All right, so there you go.
And the 10 rings make him immortal, just like Wenwoo. Word. That's what
makes
him
immortal.
Go.
So him being an Avenger, because I'm assuming that's where
you think he wants to live forever
with 10 rings.
I don't think
he's like, ooh, now I can live forever. I got these rings.
I think
he's
he
not
knows
saying
how
that.
powerful they are, and he won't let nobody else get a hold of them and whatnot.
Right, and he's going to join the Avengers, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be a superpower.
Comics. Yes, correct. I agree.
Right.
100%.
The only thing I can say I don't like is I wish they did him comic book wise when he be splitting himself in the autumn, like 5 different people.
Yeah, he's a master of his own chi.
Yeah,
he controls his chi.
You know, it's cool though. They can save that for part 2 then.
Or part 3. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be a trilogy, honestly, or whatever like that. So,
well, I can tell you who the main villain of that's gonna be. It's gonna be his sister. I guarantee it. Yeah.
His sister.
It is. It's gonna be his sister. Yep.
Anyway, all right. So, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's go ahead and rate the movie. I'll get to me and Ant later at the end. What do you say, E? Would you rate this movie 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I'll give it a 8, 8.5 around there. 8.5. Right. I'll give it an 8.5.
I give it a 9, solid 9. The only way it loses a point is the dragon fight at the end.
That's why I gave it 8.
Like I said, was just too. It was unneeded to me. It was unneeded. They could have let Wenwoo really shine as a true villain, and instead of fighting the dragon, get him almost to the point where he's about to release the dragon, and then have Shang-Chi beat him. You know, like I could have lived with that. But once I saw the 2 dragons come out, I'm like, oh great. What you want to avoid saying Fing Fang Foom, but at the same time, you want to have the biggest Asian trope in the world, which is just 2 giant monsters clashing against each other. It didn't make sense to me at all. So
I thought Wenwoo was amazing as the villain. Actually, I'm gonna get into that in a second. Actually, I think top 5 villain in Marvel.
He's one of the top 5. Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he was. He's still.
Damn, Chris 8.
Honestly,
hold on. Chris said earlier it was a top 5 Marvel movie. Period. Now he's a solid 8.
Maybe there's no 10. Maybe there's no 10s or 9s.
I'm gonna say something next though. When I get to say something, Mike, I was thinking.
Oh man, you're good. I'm done with my rating. Go ahead. Ed.
So, Mike, this is what I'm just gonna get on you a little bit. So when we watched the movie, and I did doze off a little bit, but I gave it an 8. And my wife was mad at me. She was like, "No, it's definitely a 9, 9.5." Mike, I believe you said a 9.5. And then they was like an 8, and I was like, "Listen, a 10 is reserved for like just impossibly amazing. Endgame would have got a 10 had Hope been in the damn movie, but it got a 9, right? So for me, Shang-Chi was good before I watched it again, right? And I gave it an 8. I feel like, bro, you give stuff too high of a rating. A 9 is damn near a 10. Everything, you can't just be like, that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 9.5. Like, yo, 9 is reserved for something that's almost great. We can't just be throwing 9s out there like it's lollipop. You get a 9, you get a 9. You just came to the dentist? Huh?
But this movie's truly great.
No, but what I'm saying is you give so much stuff a 9 and 9.5. Like, yo, Mike, every movie can't be a 9, man.
I gave Snake Eyes like a 6. What are you talking about?
Yo,
like,
let me explain.
That was obvious, but you give a lot of stuff that I feel like the 9 is a coveted spot.
Nah,
you know what's
coveted.
But every Marvel movie gets 7 points from the rip. They get 7 for the rip.
Wait. Let me let E in there. Go ahead, E. We gonna say?
You know what's gonna get a 9 and a 10 a pointer? That's Spider-Man. Guaranteed.
Maybe. Let's hope it's not too bloated, bro.
My only problem with that Spider-Man, my only fear for the Spider-Man, it gives me Spider-Man 3 vibes. Like, it seems like it's too much going on. Sometimes you got the old Spider-Man and the other old Spider-Man and the old Dr. Octopus, and who's really going to be the villain? I feel like sometimes
with the other Spider-Mans are all assumptions. We know the villains are what they're doing with the villains, yeah. But with them other Spider-Man, that's all assumptions. And you gotta really pay attention to how Marvel move. You know dang well they knew Sony oversaturated Spider-Man 3. That's one of the biggest things that's talked about is how Spider-Man 3 failed because they had too many characters. You know Marvel is going to top that. They're going to try to beat that. They're going to try to show them that we can have as many characters as we want and still make the movie good.
They already did.
Right.
Endgame, bro. Like
Endgame and Infinity War.
There you go.
All right. Hold on.
No, that was different, though. That was different.
Let me get back to this. So, are you keeping your 8.5 from the limited theater?
Well, I gave it an 8. I remember I don't like to do halves.
Yeah.
So, I'll say this though. Let me just clean it up a little bit. So I go to the movies and I see it again as an entirety, and I want so bad to give it a 9, but I feel like a 9 is too. I can't get over it is a little bit too much silliness. And I can't get over the dragons and the kaiju at the end. I want to say this. Had the demon that came out, they could have still did exactly what happened, right? Get rid of the dragon coming out, right? Maybe the dragon would have seen him in the water and his eyes would have glowed and it would have levitated him out of the water. And the dragon never comes out the water, right? But the demon shouldn't have been this giant flying thing. He should have been maybe like the Abomination height. And he could have been like this all dark character, and they could add and he punch you super hard, and they had a serious fight, right? He killed the dad released the rings, and then he beat him. That would have been bravo. But I can't get over this flying. All right, so but after watching it again and realizing, man, the rings was the most stunning superpower I've seen ever, like in a movie. It was just amazing.
At this point, the rings I think are the most powerful weapon in Marvel. Honestly, right now, I really do.
I don't know if I'm going there. I'm not going there. I'm just saying visually, it looked because I'm not doing that.
To me, they compete with Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield. Like I think they're that powerful.
Thor will destroy him with that hammer.
That hammer is going to tear them up, yo. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But anyways, that's not Mjolnir. That's Stormbreaker. That's
But I don't like to give halves, but I'm so torn, and this has to deserve more than an 8. But I don't want to give it a 9. The kaiju thing, I just can't get over it, right? And for me, a perfect movie is a 10, right? So my favorite movie could get a 9, but still, it's not a perfect movie. So I'm gonna have to give this an 8.5.
Wow, first half I see the give.
Yeah. I want to give it a 9. Trust me.
All right. Well, surprisingly, I'm gonna go down from my first experience or second experience with you, and instead of 9.5, I'm gonna go with the 9. I'm gonna go to 9 though, but not 9.5. I do think the last fight is just too much for me, or whatever. But the rest of this movie, it's hard for me to find flaws in, or whatever. Stuff like that. And you know, and Marvel needed this after Black Widow, to be honest with you, and stuff like that. So for me, it's a solid 9. 10 is like the holy grail, you know, like you said, or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And you know, but you know, for me, it's a 9. So I want to do. Is anybody? I mean, I know Chris said top 5 or whatever, but anybody? Have you guys thought about where it placed on your Marvel pantheon yet?
I gotta see it again. I gotta see it again in order for it to be like cemented. So
honestly,
right now, it would be my top 10. Right now,
it's in my top 10 for sure.
It's in my top 10 right now for sure.
Yeah.
Once I see it again, it may move to top 5, but it's hard, yo. Winter Soldier's gonna be hard to like top.
I'm pretty good at like what bothers me, what don't. I think if I took 20 minutes, I could probably come up with a list just by looking at the names. But in my memory, I think it might make a top 5 list for me with Marvel. It probably would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
If I maybe one day I might look at it just to see. I might look at all the movies because I could quickly be like, no, yeah, no, yeah. So I would have to look at it. If not.
But if I took out the Avengers films, which are group films, it's definitely top 5, maybe top 3 or whatever. Like that.
Well, see, that's the thing. The Avenger films are so here's to be fair. All these other films, they do a good job at standalone movies, but we know they're building up to something. When you get to the Avengers film, that's what everything was building up to. So that's like, what the Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, like these are like over the top amazing movies, even without the Hogan.
Okay, yeah. So for standalone, definitely top 5, and besides that, I think top 10 for me personally. I do gotta look at it again myself or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But nah, it's been great, man. I really appreciate you guys once again. This was a great review, nice and tight, under 2 hours. Dave, I know your wife about to kill you, so I know you gotta go. We appreciate you though. Just to say this, we'll be back next week. And Dave, we're going to do 3 episodes of What If since we missed this week or whatever. Talk about that.
Let's do it, baby.
And still got to watch it regardless anyway. So it's cool on that. And, like I said, we appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys all. And thanks for everybody in the comments. Chris, my brother.
Yeah. Soldier's the best movie ever, Jay.
I agree. It's number 1 for me, Winter Soldier. But anyway, thank you all. Hey, E, matter of fact, I want to see both of you guys, E and Dave. I want to see what your top 10 would be right now.
Next time. I'll bring the top 10 list.
All right. Yep. All right. For that though, guys. All right. I'm Big Mike.
I'm Little Ant. Out.